I used to think that healing myself meant fixing myself. I would often spend a lot of time just simply trying to work on me. I became obsessed with self-improvement, so much so that one wrong misstep, I was having a whole self-sabotage, beat myself up because I felt as though I misstepped or that I didn't do something right. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video, another vlog. Today we're going to be talking about just that. I personally have gotten to a place in my life to where I feel like I'm kind of done with the feeling like I need to fix myself. And I've learned that that's not what healing is. I've learned that self-acceptance is what healing is. I've learned that loving yourself for right where you are, no matter what your mess looks like, no matter what things you need to work on, loving yourself in your totality for right where you are is what healing truly looks like. Showing up for your inner child, no longer self-abandoning and honoring how you feel. That's true healing. Responding different is true healing. For the longest time, I felt like the relationships that I had, I was like, dang, I always took everything that transpired in those relationships extremely personal. I felt like there was something wrong with me. For this person to act this way, I must go and fix this instead of to do with me. And so I've gotten to a place now to where, yes, do I have things to work on? Yes, I definitely have things to work on. However, period, dot, comma, I don't equate that to healing. Self-acceptance, self-love, while I work on everything it is that I need to work on, to me, that is my healing. I think even with all of that now, I feel like with people, as it relates to people and their limitations, I think now that it gives me so much compassion for others with how they show up, that I'm in a space to where I'm working more so on having boundaries, right? And not just being willing to accept these things because these people have their own limitations. I'm currently listening to this book by Mel Robbins called Let Them, and I will insert a picture of the book here. That book has been so enlightening in so many different ways. I realized, so when I very first started listening to the book, I was like, what does she mean? Just let them. She was like, the dishes don't get done, let them. I'm like, she tripping. But the more that I continued to listen to the book, the more that it started to make sense, the more that understanding my emotions and so on and so forth made sense. And that kind of ties me into what else I was going to say. For the longest time, I was just such a huge self-improvement girly, and I still am, right? Because I still strive and desire to be the best version of myself that I could be every day, but it's not a job. And what was happening was when I would miss the mark, or if I felt like, oh, I didn't do this right, or oh, I slipped up on this, the conversations that I would have with myself would be so just, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but I would really beat myself up when I felt like I missed the mark. And that kind of fed the narrative of, I need to fix myself. What's wrong with you? Why do you keep repeating the same cycle? Are you stuck on stupid? Like, these are literally like the things that I would tell myself. Like, are you dumb? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, get your shit together. And I learned that we all have an inner critic. And that inner critic will make you feel about this big. And so once I started to catch that inner critic, then I started to be able to reframe and tell myself, it's okay. Well, you fell again, or you tripped up again. Well, that's okay. Maybe next time. Well, not today. Okay, that's no problem. I'm gonna get it this time. And I think that the way that a lot of us are raised, and this is no like discredit to our parents or anything like that, because I genuinely believe that they did the best that they could do with what they had. And I believe that nowadays, like, we have so much that's available to us that we're able to kind of change things for the generations to come. But growing up, when you made a mistake, were you ridiculed for that mistake, or was that mistake met with patience and love? And one thing that Mel talks about in that book is about how we teach children to shut their emotions down and to actually not allow them to process and be able to understand exactly what it is that they're feeling, right? I feel like nowadays we have the tools that we genuinely need it, but nevertheless, we got them now. And so all we can do is implement them now. But loving yourself and really healing. And I always say this, I don't care how much you heal. I don't care how much how much work you put in to understand why certain things are this or so on and so forth. Some things may always trigger you. And so being triggered is okay. It's how you respond to said trigger. It's, are you able to identify what this trigger is tied to? Well, I feel this way because this is familiar territory from X, Y, and Z, and not really responding to those emotions. I have found that when I respond to an emotion, it's like I just go down a rabbit hole. But if I can catch myself right before I start spiraling, because like I said, and don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect at it now. Like I still, like the other day, I just was in a loop. And I said, you know what? Let me get off my ass tonight. Let me do something different tonight. I can sit here and go down this rabbit hole, waddle, complain, or I can sit with it and I can just start putting forth energy in the direction that I would like to go. Another thing that I would like to touch on is I believe that there is a very fine line between stoicism and avoidance. And when I very first started listening to that book, I was kind of like, it almost sounded like she's saying be avoidant. And I was having a hard time with that. But stoicism is feeling your emotions, right? Being able to feel them, but not react out of your emotions. Avoidance is telling yourself that you don't feel nothing, you just literally like pushing everything away and acting like you're just really unbothered, you know? And I believe that there's a very, very fine line. So I always get a little like, with certain things, because we are allowed to feel our emotions. We are allowed to not like something, whatever have you. That all is okay. Sometimes things may bother you, but I think stoicism is not lashing out and being reactive to those emotions. It's acknowledging the emotion, feeling that emotion, and just saying, okay, all right. And acceptance. And again, avoidance is I don't feel nothing. I can't acknowledge nothing. I'm good. But anyways, I don't want to make this video very, very long. I just wanted to come and have just that little sit down with y'all about stop trying to fix yourself. Instead, love yourself right where you are. You're perfect right where you are. And I think that whomever is to meet you, that's not to say that people got to come in and deal with your shit and all of that, but people can cultivate a safe space for you, a supportive space for you, a nurturing space for you while you figure certain things out, right? This is your community. This is your friends. I'm sorry, I got one more thing to say. This season for me has taught me, I feel like I've been so like, no, I don't want anybody in my business. I don't want to share anything with anybody. I just going to move and work in silence and then I'm going to drop. Y'all have even heard me on this channel say that several times, right? Like, I just gotta do what I gotta do, and I'm just gonna pop out and this and this and that. But truly, God showed me this season that there's so much support and so much love and community. And I've had some people step up for me in a way that I couldn't even ever imagine. Even like, I'm gonna have to give a story time. I know that I have a testimony that's coming up, but because of everything that's going on right now, I'm not even in a position to share that publicly. I actually don't mind being vulnerable on camera because I feel as though vulnerability, it helps others. But I do have a testimony coming to share, but I just wanted to tap on that real quick too. Strength is not doing everything alone. It actually takes strength to even ask for help, to ask for community, to say what you need and give people the opportunity to show up for you. There's balance in everything, right? Like I was taught that there's really balance in, I can move in silence with certain people, but then there's also certain people that I need to be vulnerable and open with. And what I have found is that being open and vulnerable with people has been so freeing, right? Like with where I'm at, I didn't want to tell anybody. I didn't tell a soul outside of my household of what I had going on. I realized that once I did start to tell people, like it started with me telling my mom, and then I started telling a few friends. And y'all, when I tell you, people met me with a big old hug. More so just like, hey, I got you, right? Not asking just to be nosy, but asking to help. That's all I'm going to say about that. Just wanted to tap on that real quick, and I will definitely see y'all in the next video. And I'm going to do a vlog next week, so we will see y'all then. TTYL.